So I'll just walk you through the first part here. Maybe I'll throw it to Gaishu at a certain point. But the first thing that's happened is we're going to have some changes to asymmetric battles. This is going to return in Operation 12.5, Update 12.5.
Operation Update 12.5.
Operation Update the game again. However, this specific time, this is actually going to be an experiment for co-op. So co-op mode is going to be saddled with asymmetric battles, which means basically the player team is going to have fewer ships of a higher tier against a larger team of lower tier ships.
You may notice on the image here that on the top there, the green team only has 6 ships, which will be playing against a full lineup of 12 bots of a slightly lower tier.
9 and 10s versus 7 and 8s, as I recall correctly. So this is something that the co-op community and the operations community has actually been asking for quite a long time. For people who watch the tournaments, they may not be aware of how sizable the co-op and operations community is. It is actually enormous. It's much bigger than you might think. So we're happy to sort of throw a mode that is sort of designed for them.
And even for people who don't usually play co-op, I think this will be an exciting opportunity to try something new.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that actually for this co-op mode, the bots will have improved AI.
That's right.
They're going to be better than the AI that you'll normally see in co-op. They'll play more positionally. If you played co-op before, you'll notice that the bots usually tend to just charge in, get into close quarters and die. They'll kind of distribute themselves more around the map. They'll play a little bit slower, a little more carefully.
They'll be better about not beaching and about not ramming into each other as well.
Yeah.
Also, it's worth pointing out that these bot improvements aren't just for this mode. It's for co-op and training rooms in general. So that is another thing the co-op community has been asking for, is bots that are slightly more intelligent. So we're looking forward to seeing how you folks feel about that. And then this one's pretty cool, actually. I wouldn't have thought about this happening until we saw it. But you wanna introduce the next part?
Sure. So for 12.5, we're going to be testing a new feature where basically there'll be some extra time after the end of the battle. And what this means is that the game will award victory or defeat as per normal, or draw if you're lucky enough to get one of those. But then there's going to be a few extra seconds for people to continue playing, so the end of the match is a little bit less jarring. So it's just like a little bit of extra overtime. Any damage and stuff will still be counted in your statistics during these extra few seconds.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
So it will basically be as normal, but and economic rewards as well, I believe. So. And achievements. So if you get a Kraken after the game ends, you'll still get the Kraken.
Yeah.
But important to note that the victory or defeat is locked in at the time of the battle ending as per normal.
So if you ever, and this has happened to us sometimes even in King of the Sea, sometimes the battle is so close that you go, wait, I have to wait for the music to start to know whether it's a victory or defeat. Now you'll see the screen that pops up. You can see there in the picture, either victory or defeat will pop up in the battle. Ships will continue to move. And then eventually
and then
it will wind down.
You'll get sent to the results screen.
I think it will be a little more of a smooth transition. And hey, I don't mind another 9 seconds of damage farming. Do you?
Yeah, I think in general it's a good thing.
The farm is open, folks. Let's eat. So that's gonna be. Oh, I guess actually that's not everything for that. We're allowed to go through the rest of the devlog, right?
Yeah, we have a few more things to show off. Content that will be coming in 12.5.
So for the celebration of U.S. Independence Day, which is fitting because the crazy Yankees were invited here to Prague to help with the production.
You've come to Europe to talk about America.
So
let us tell you about America.
Perhaps you've heard of it. We have something called Independence Day, where we basically go crazy and we paint everything red, white, and blue, and we blow things up. Yep. So this time around, what we've done is we've added a couple of interesting camouflages to some of the new U.S. ships that are going to be coming out. The first is going to be the Risen from the Ashes camouflage for the West Virginia 44. Now, this basically is like a rising phoenix because of the fact that the West Virginia was sunk and badly damaged at Pearl Harbor. It was then refloated and put back into service. And this reminds me of like an 80s cartoon, like a giant robot or something, which is pretty sweet. So that's going to be available. There's going to be a specific container for, in I guess, the celebration of Independence Day called the Wings of Liberty container that will be able to drop this camouflage as well as one more for the Halford, which is going to be the Thunderbird camouflage. So like basically like an ice phoenix, I suppose. So pretty cool there. And that's going to be, I believe, I'm not sure if it says it in this dev blog, so I don't want to.
It's West Virginia 44. I believe,
yes.
the camouflage.
I don't know that. I should have actually checked there. Okay, yes. So Halford will be available in the premium containers as well. I don't know that it actually says whether or not the West Virginia 44 will be available from these containers. I don't think
I don't believe so.
Will be.
Nope.
But obviously the West Virginia 44 will be available because we're selling the skin for it. So there's also a few other things. They're a little bit complicated, so we might have you guys go ahead and check those out on the dev blog on your own when it comes out shortly. There are some new commanders. There are some new permanent camouflages that I don't think we have. We have the Jaeger. Okay, we do have a permanent camouflage for the Jaeger.
Ooh. Yes,
So let's take a look. This one is actually steampunk inspired, which
This is actually, I think, one of my favorite camos
yes,
upcoming.
the
I think
Perpetual Engine is what it's called, which I love.
this looks so fantastic. I love the steampunk aesthetic here.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. If you guys remember the camo for the Anhalt, yeah, it's the blue. It has in the port. It has the crazy big sails that come up. This reminds me a lot of that. So
Yeah, and for those of you who don't like the World War I aesthetic of the Jaeger at Tier 9, I think this is a
pretty good compromise.
A pretty good compromise.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be some other containers added to support an event we're going to be doing that's actually surrounding the convoy PQ-17. Now, I don't know, those of you who are familiar with World War II history, you guys probably know the name PQ-17, but basically the Allies would send convoys of supplies to assist and aid the Soviet Union during World War II. And these were given designations, and one of them was PQ-17, which had British and American merchantmen making their way basically up to the port of either Archangel or Murmansk. I can't remember which one it was going towards.
They were bound for, I think, Archangels.
Archangel, okay. And it actually suffered horrendous casualties because it came under attack from submarines and aircraft, and I think even...
Yeah, the Tirpitz as well, I think, was part of the German forces attacking the convoy.
I don't think the Tirpitz actually engaged the convoy, but the Tirpitz was sorted out to threaten it. So anyway, it's a fascinating read about if you guys like history. So we're going to have an event dedicated to that with some camouflages, with some flags and achievements, and with some containers. So I think that's it for that. There's a little bit more in that dev blog, so when it drops, please do go take a look at it.